Hey party people, welcome to Chainout, your favorite disc golf podcast. You're listening to Jeremy, and with me as always is your favorite co-host Daryl. Hey buddy.
How's it going, Jeremy?
It is going fantastic. We're on another episode, ready to rock and roll, episode 16.
Yeah, Tundra Toss special. Got a chance to get out this weekend for the Tundra Toss tournament. But before we get into that exciting news, I've got some other breaking news, some exclusive news.
That's my, Does that sound good?
That
for
sounds
a high
good.
budget sound effect?
Yeah, that's good. Before we go any further, I want to give an update. Last episode, if you listened and watched, you will know that we are on a mission to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube.
That's right.
We're encouraging everybody. There is a post on Instagram. Go over there, find the post. It should be pinned to our Instagram if I know how to do that. It'll be pinned at the top. If I don't know how to do it, then just scroll down and try and find it. You'll find it. Like the post, follow us on Instagram, but more importantly, make sure you follow us on subscribe on YouTube, because that's the big push that we're trying to get to. Trying to get to 100 subscribers. Once we get to that 100 subscribers, we're going to do a giveaway from all of our platforms, our Instagram and from YouTube. Put everybody's name into a hat. We're going to do a draw for the grand prize, which we showed on the last episode. But Jeremy, you can just give a quick rundown of what that the prize pack consists of.
Yeah, so the prize pack, it has a hand-eye Bindle Z-Zoo bag. There's a lot of different words all in there, but it's a nice little over-the-shoulder bag that holds about 10 to 12 discs. We've got a BR West Side Harp in there. We've got a BR Mini. We've got some stickers, the 2023 BR team and some other BR stickers, as well as a chainout sticker in there for you. So definitely make sure to subscribe to YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. And if you want some extra chances to get your name into the draw, then go to and watch our previous episode 15 with Terry Hong, and you'll have at least 2 chances. I don't remember how many we gave away. It felt like an Oprah episode, but there are some opportunities. So check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So while we're running this tournament, running this competition, we may as well give an update on exactly what number we're sitting at right now. So currently, as of recording this episode, we are at, producer Daryl, insert drum roll, 83 subscribers. So only 17 more to go.
That's right. We're getting down there, man. We're on the winning half of the way to 100, which is exciting news to me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned about that sticker that's inside the giveaway pack.
Yes.
That little sticker, surprisingly, looks exactly like that banner that you've got hanging behind you.
Oh, it certainly does, doesn't it?
Look at that little stylish banner hanging up on the wall.
Yeah, so we got this banner as part of our efforts to advertise Chainout Podcast and to take our what was it? It was like Chainout in the wild, I think is what it really was.
Yeah,
because everybody who listens to us or watches us sees us from a distance, but you got to see the real deal up close and personal at Tundra Toss.
And like we said before, that one of the things that we don't realize is that probably half, we don't know the exact figures, but maybe half of our listeners actually listen to the podcast on Spotify or Apple, and they don't actually know what we look like. Not everybody watches on YouTube. So for those people, like we said before, go ahead over to YouTube and subscribe, and you will definitely see what we look like. But it was kind of nice to be able to put, well, I guess for them to put faces to names and voices. Good to see people that, the difference between some people listening to the podcast and speaking to them and saying, oh, do you subscribe on YouTube? No, I just listen on my way to work. So definitely good to get those people on board and get them subscribing as well. Like you said, did a bit of a remote location episode there. First one for us, whether it worked or not is, we'll see in the coming months or weeks and see how it turned out. But yeah, we actually had a good time there at the Trail House down at Rundle.
Yeah, and what that's done is that's added, so for episode 16 here, as we called it, Tundra Toss Special, this is going to be a different episode than you're used to. We're going to go, we got some footage while we were at the Tundra Toss. Both Daryl and I played in the tournament. in between and before and after. We were recording, we were interviewing, we were talking to people. So we wanted to take all of that information and put it into one episode, so anybody who was at Tundra Toss can enjoy it all over again, and anybody who wasn't there gets an opportunity to get a feel for what it was like. So
Yeah,
with that,
absolutely.
yeah, and with that as well, one of the things that we do know is that everybody loves a guest on this show.
Yeah.
Almost, Daryl has a saying, everybody likes a dog, right? Or how do you say it? Likes a dag?
Do you like Degs?
Yeah. Do you like dags? Do you get
Degs. Yeah, Degs. Do you like Degs?
Yeah.
Oh, dogs. Yeah, I like guests.
If you get
If
that
you know,
reference,
you know.
yeah, put that down in the comments. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we do know that you guys like guests. So one of the things as well tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to have a guest for you, and we thought, what better guest to have than bring back Tim Plamondon, president of the Edmonton Disc Golf Association, tournament director of the Tundra Toss. He was there for the whole event. He's got a lot of good insight, and we're going to get a chance to really dive into Tundra Toss Welcome Day with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, he was there. He knows all about it. He was the one running the whole thing. So let's not waste any time, Jeremy. Let's bring him on.
All right, Daryl, let's bring Tim Plamondon onto the show. Welcome, Tim. How you doing, buddy?
I'm so good. I'm doing really well. How are you guys doing?
Good, good.
Fantastic. Yeah.
You're looking pretty good here for just TDing a big tournament and a welcome day over the weekend, and having a couple other exciting events happen since then.
Yeah, I had an inadvertent rest day on Tuesday, or Wednesday. No, Tuesday, because I got into a pretty good car accident on Tuesday, and I couldn't go to work, so took the day off.
Yeah, I don't want to say it happens this time of year, but you know, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen this time of year, right? Just
Yeah.
especially when we've had so much dry weather, and then we get a dump like we did over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? No one was hurt. Still waiting to hear back if my car is dead or not, but no one's hurt, and that's what matters the most. And it's all good.
Yes.
Things happen. I've never been in a car accident before, so that was new. Can put that one behind me now, and yeah, it's all good. No injuries is the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually in those cases too, looking at the car at this point, it's like you just keep your fingers crossed, write that thing off, get me a new car, and let's move on.
Pretty much. But yeah, I was able to rest that day because I kind of dealt with some stuff, and then I couldn't go to work. So I just kind of, that was my rest day after Tundra Toss Welcome Day, because it was a hectic few days there.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Well, let's get into Tundra Toss. Hey, Daryl. And that was an early start to the morning, we found out, by being part of the event. Daryl, what time did you roll in the parking lot at?
Yeah, I think I was there about 7:30. I know Tim and Brock were already there before me, so I don't know what time you guys got there. But I asked if you needed a help, and there was not much to do. So you've been there quite early.
Yeah, I got there at about 6:40. I was putting out the CTP long putts, putting out the additional baskets, and just kind of getting the last minute course prep ready. It's a pretty full day, and it starts pretty early. But with you guys there, and so many of the council members were there early. They all just chipped in so much. Like it made it so easy.
Yeah. And it's good to be set up early, because we have people like our friend Mark Thompson who want to roll in well before the tournament's going to start, get the first choice of any discs, any tags, anything that he can get, and start a couple conversations.
I know, you could always see them, those people just kind of hovering around. I'm setting up the TD table, and they're kind of putting the discs out and getting the tag, and you see that people looking from the side like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on here. Try to get an early start on it.
Yeah. When is it too rude to be able to go over there and ask if I can start looking through the disc already?
You know what? If check-in starts at 8, be at 8. 8's fine. If it's 7:59, I'm going to give you the eyeball.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of and you guys had done this last year for Tundra Toss, and again this year was, I think last year we got one disc, this year we had two, but it was kind of nice that there was just a table full of different types of discs. So at some tournaments, there's one with the stamp of the tournament on it, and whether you want it or not, that's what you're getting. This way kind of allowed us to spend some time, almost rummage through, and then find something that would fit our bag, or our two discs that would fit our bag, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we were pretty fortunate to get a good deal out of Gander's kind of blowout sale there. They hooked us up with a really good outgoing deal, and I always like the 2 discs of your choice kind of method. We sort of did that for River City with fewer molds, and a couple tournaments that I've been to, they've done that where it's like, either the stamp, but here's like 8 options, and with this it was like it was wide open. There was like Trash Panda, Discmania, Castapla, there was everything. And I was talking to a lot of the players, and it seemed like for the most part, everyone got at least 1, if not 2 discs that they really like thought would fit what they wanted. So I like doing that for sure.
Yeah. Well, Daryl, what did you end up putting in your bag from that?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I got a Ricky Wysocki Slammer, which I've always kind of looked at, even though it's overstable, and I don't know where it'll fit in my bag, but yeah, I picked up that, and I think it was a culprit. I think there may have been a culprit there as well that I got. Yeah, I think I like dynamic discs. I've got a few. Like the Vandal is a bit of stable in my bag now. I've got a couple molds of that. So yeah, trying to go down that line maybe. How about yourself? What did you pick up?
Well, I was hunting in there because, I thought there'd be a Firebird or 2, but nope, I didn't see any of those in there. I think somebody already took them out.
Yeah. I accidentally put my buddy Jake. He had a Firebird that I found on the course, and I had accidentally put it in the player pack. And someone handed it back to me, and be like, "You can't give this one away. That one belongs to someone." So that's where the one Firebird was.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I ended up finding a musket in there, and I've already got one, so it was nice to have a second one and a new one to kind of. We've been talking about that as having multiple of the same mold.
Yeah.
So I picked up one of those, and then the other thing is there was some glow in the dark buzzes with the Evil Dead Ash Bumblebee on them, and I've got a Hex. I've got some other mids in that area, but I've never had a buzz, so I thought that was a cool one to add to my bag.
And don't forget, another part of the player pack was a nice little sticker from Chainout Podcast.
Yeah.
That was a lovely little addition.
Yeah. We thought, we're just trying to branch out on our marketing. Jeremy's sporting the banner that we had on our table there. We're starting to come together, starting to build the brand, if you will. And yeah, we just thought it'd be a nice thing to have, just to get our name out there for, we know that if people follow EDGA on Instagram, you're always reposting our things, which we really appreciate. But for those people that don't follow you or don't know who we are, we thought we'd put a sticker in the pack as well, and maybe they can follow us and enjoy all of our good content.
I love a good sticker, and my disc golf water bottle is covered in stickers. It's almost 2 layers deep all the way around of just tournament stickers and any disc golf sticker I can find. So I think the stickers are a great play.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
Well, and that was, being up there at the trail house. Now, we knew the parking wasn't going to be that great, which was fine. We were all aware of that. But the space in there, I remember it was kind of small, but we actually got a lot of us in there. We had, we were there. Chainout had a table. We had Pursuit of Motion, and Tristan was there. Wildman had a couple tables set up. EDGA had tables, and then some more for the raffle draws and that. So we packed a whole bunch of people in there. It actually worked out well. And I couldn't believe we got the disc swap done in there as well.
I mean, we made it work, and I was pretty impressed. I wasn't anticipating to do the awards inside, but and I was comfy and cozy all day. I sat inside all day and watched everyone walk around that course for that second round when the flurries blew in, and everyone kind of came in, and I'm sure you guys heard me call out like, "Are we doing awards in or out?" And everyone was pretty like in, and it was pretty tight in there. But you know what? It actually worked out quite well, and yeah, you're right. Like we had enough tables for everyone, and it really made for. I mean, one thing that I love is just bringing people together. That's one thing I'm really passionate about, just in my life, even just like in my personal life. I love bringing people together to have like food or watch Oilers games or whatever. And so to me, it's very on brand for me to be like, yeah, let's host a tournament, and also let's do a welcome day, and also let's get everyone who's kind of involved in the community there, and let's all do it at the exact same time. So it was cool to be able to use the trail house that way, that we all kind of fit. And the parking lot thing was terrible. I mean, I was sending emails every day for a few weeks trying to get that parking lot freed up, but that's okay. We got past that barrier, and it worked out.
Yeah. I remember being there last year for the welcome day package, and I don't know if it was just me, but the trail house felt smaller last year, but it was surprising that we got so many people in there, and it didn't feel cramped. apart from, I wouldn't even say it was cramped. It was, you know, comfy towards the end when we were doing the award ceremony. But through the day, people coming and going, people finishing their rounds and all that, coming in for lunch, checking out the discs, going over to see Tristan. Like, it never felt packed at any time. It just felt, it was an amazing. We got everything in there.
Yeah, and it was cool to see kind of everyone like kind of crossing paths with each other. Like you could see people that maybe haven't played a tournament or haven't or are coming by. I saw some people that were just there for the welcome day, asking people how their tournament was going. Like I love that aspect of it. And then they check out kind of all the booths, and it never really felt overwhelming at any point.
Yeah.
And then as for the tournament itself, Tim, it's probably safe to say this was the third year, and this was the biggest tournament of all three. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the first year it was not an EDGA event. Travis Bouchard and I just kind of wanted to see if running tournaments was a thing we wanted to do, and we had branded ourselves Disky Business, and we kept it. It was our first ever event. We had never run an event before of any sort, and I'd helped with some tournaments, but it was my first kind of go at it. So we kept it small intentionally. We chose not to make it like a ice bowl branded thing. We kind of wanted to make it our own, kind of wanted to put our own little thing. And we kind of felt like, Edmonton Disc Golf deserves Edmonton Disc Golf. Like it's a sanctioned event. You come in here and no matter what the weather is, you're playing competitively. So the first year we kept it capped at 60 people and we didn't go over that. And then last year I had to add a hole to add 76 people. And this year it was 88. I had a person call in sick in the morning, which is fine. They notified me, but it was 87 people on the course. But I know a lot of this has to do with the weather leading up to the event, but I had probably close to about 10 direct messages in my Facebook and Instagram, and about 5 emails and about 5 other waitlisters. I probably could have brought this tournament to 100 people if I wanted to. The response was just unbelievable, and like people were just rallying behind it and getting excited, and that's pretty validating to know that like we're putting out something out there that is that people want and that people are enjoying and coming back to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know we had a good time. Being part of the, I don't want to say sponsorship, but being part of the in-trail house activities and things like that, that was a different aspect for us. But actually being out there on the course, playing the rounds, playing all the new holes, they were kind of exciting to play as well. I never played, I had seen the quote unquote 19th hole after hole 18 before, but the 2 new holes, where did the idea from them? Have you played those before, or has it always been an idea to have baskets there?
No, that's a Kristen Swirl special on both those. I knew I had to add a couple, and Kristen, in her infinite wisdom, was just like, "Well, why don't you just cut down the 2 walks, like the 2 biggest walks you have between holes?" So the first one was actually the one between original 12 and 13. And when I kind of went on site, when she mentioned it, I went on site and it was like, oh, there's a very clear, tricky little hyzer shot. Or if I don't make a Mando, like you can do it forehand or a turnover. And then she said, yeah, and then you can do it, between 6 and 7. And I walked over and it was just like, I stood in one spot and just saw that little tunnel down the trees and just thought, I want people to think that that's the shot, but really they need to go around it. And I really wanted to trick people into going up the gut, which Kristen right here, she's just looking at me like, you got me.
Oh, did you go up the gut on it?
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to stick a camera somewhere up in the trees or whatever, just to watch and find out how many people went up the gut. Because somebody mentioned it to me and they're like, yeah, you can go straight up the gut. Even if you hit a tree, you're still within putting range. Why would you take that risk when you've got that big wide open fairway on the right hand side?
I love it. I've been fortunate enough to design a few holes at Rundle, like doing the 2 extra holes during the Epcot construction. I designed those 2 holes, and then the 19th hole, the gully shot. I mean, that's not really my hole, but that's always cool. But then the 2 ones that Kristen kind of put me in an area and I built, I've really enjoyed course design, and I think I've kind of got a knack for it because I really like going. I like 2 types of shots. I like saying, "Here's the shot, execute it." I like those holes that give you the shot and the goal is to execute, but I also like holes that are like, here's the tee pad, there's the basket. There are 3 ways you can go about this. Do it how you think. And that was kind of my mentality with that both of those ones actually in that area were just like, there are 3 different ways you could attack these holes. do it to the best of your ability, but one option is going to be a little more tantalizing than the other.
Yeah, and I think that also tells you what type of player or where you're at in your development. Because for Kristen to stand up there and look at that narrow tunnel and go, "Yeah, I got that," that shows where she is. Where when Daryl and I walked up, we looked at it and go, "What's our most overstable disc that we can throw out right and have it come back?"
Yeah, and I heard there was people playing the forehand over the road coming around. Like,
Wow.
Wow.
yeah, like you play to your strength on a hole like that. But I do like the sneaky, like, come on, it's right there. It's a straight shot. Just throw it dead straight. What are you waiting for?
Well, I'm glad you didn't take any inspiration from hole 10 at Hermitage and make any Mandos or anything like that. For anybody that knows hole 10 at Hermitage, you have a triple Mando, but that tunnel is significantly wider than the tunnel that we were looking at, what we're talking about right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was asked about that. A couple of people said, "Is there a Mando? Is there a Mando?" No, no Mando. I also like making the Tundra Toss a little bit easier. Like I like taking away the walking paths and not making it so difficult. Like to me, the conditions are what make that difficult. And if it's a birdie fest, it's a birdie fest. That's fine. But like you guys saw from round 1 to 2, totally different rounds based on the weather.
Yes. Well, and the other thing too is that like we're playing the Winter League, some of us, and I think what is it, 16 are in there. So that's 16 of the 88 people who happen to be in Winter League. Of those other people, they may not. This might be their first tournament, their first real round after taking some time off during the off season.
That's
So
right.
you kind of want it to be a positive experience because everyone is so excited to get out there. The last thing you want to do is punish them for coming out to the first tournament.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of like this tournament. It's funny how it's come together because it's reaffirmed a lot of things that we wanted to do, which is like be the first kind of C tier sanctioned event in Alberta, do it in the winter to celebrate the winter, and that we're crazy and that we're going to go do a C tier in February to kick off the welcome day, and yeah, just to kind of ease people into the season with a tournament that isn't going to really bludgeon them with too many hard shots, but like just something to get back in the swing of things, get the brain working on some things. So
It's good.
You mentioned there about adding the 3 extra holes to accommodate the extra players. I think we even had some 5-player cards as well.
yeah, so we were originally scheduled to have five player cards, which I had to cap it there. And then
Yeah.
actually I think I said earlier we had one person concept, but we actually had 2 people. So we ended up with 3 5-player cards. And I gotta say, I budgeted for 3-hour rounds, and they were coming in more closer to 2 hours and 40 minutes, which I was very, very happy about. There's a couple pinch points in the course, like even just original 18 can get backed up, and then that whole debacle between 14, 2, and 50, like that little area. I was really, really pleasantly surprised that there weren't too many backups. It didn't seem like there was too many backups, and that everyone was being really respectful of each other's space, not throwing into each other. Like it seemed to work out really well, which I was pretty grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I
experienced
think,
it playing it, right, Daryl? We didn't notice too much of a backup on any hole.
yeah, no, I was just going to say, I wonder if that was something to do with which hole you started on, because on the first round, we started on 13, and then we kind of moved into, like you said, that hole 14-2, and then around there. So, you know, when we first starting, we didn't experience any on first round. We didn't experience any backups, and I don't even think we experienced any on the second round. Really, did we? No,
Nope.
no, it's pretty smooth sailing all day.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Like that's a TD's dream. Like
Yeah,
I could talk for hours about what a TD thinks about, and I'm sure guys like Wally and whatnot could also talk about this. There's so many little things that you think of that you're just like, oh, please go right, please go right. You know, whether it's like, do I have the right kind of additional baskets? Are they weighted down to the ground properly? Will the weather be good? Are there people going to drop out? Are people entering last minute? What's the ace pot look like? Like there's so many little tiny details that you think that you just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I just rack my brain thinking about all these little things that could go right or wrong. And generally right. I'm a glass half full kind of person. But you spend so much time thinking about all these little details, like when's checking going to be, what's the players pack looking like, financially, is this even making money, are we losing money, are the people going to have fun, have you communicated them to them directly, have you set up the course the way that you set up your caddy book, like just it's nonstop. It takes months and months and months to plan these things to the detail.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is when we come up and we don't notice anything but a smooth tournament, it's almost like I'm a purchaser by nature is what my job is. And the way we look at it is I say when nobody says anything to you, you should pat yourself on the back because you've done a good job because nobody's complaining that you're out of stuff, nobody's complaining that you've spent too much money and all of those things. So now I know as a TD, there's a similarity to that probably too. When nobody's complaining, maybe you didn't get a whole bunch of kudos right away, but you know that things are good because they're not saying anything. It went exactly as it was supposed to go.
Yeah, and you know what? People were so gracious at the end of the tournament. People were shaking my hand and saying they thought it was a smooth experience and that they were so appreciative. So I sensed almost no negativity and so much positivity. And I was so grateful that people were being grateful for it. Like they just appreciate that. We had people from Saskatchewan, people from Calgary, people from kind of all over came to this tournament, and that's just like that makes me feel so good. I'm so grateful for the community that we have, that they're so like they show that appreciation back to me, and for that I'm very fortunate.
Yeah. I think that's partly of the world that we live in nowadays, is that people are very quick to tell you you're wrong and complain about things. If things are okay or if things are good, then they won't say anything. But if you're going to get compliments, then that means that you're at that next level. So the fact that you did get compliments just goes to show you that people appreciated it that much more, that they're willing to take that time just to give you that kudos. So good for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks. The only thing I can think of, I mean, there's a couple of minor things, but I didn't paint an OB line on the gully shot there. And someone did throw, I'm not going to name names, but someone named Nick Legault threw it basically into the river, and I didn't have the proper OB line painted there. So that's on me, Nick. That's on me, Nick. But we handled the situation good. So learning lesson for me next year.
Do you know if we ever got that disc back? Did anyone ever go down and get it yet?
With the snow?
I looked. Not that hard. It was far away. I looked. No, I'm not. I think that's a spring find. That one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick.
Well, if we go back to Tim, to the start of the tournament, right after you got out and you got us on our way in the announcement, the start of the day was looking beautiful. We got out to our hole. Everybody was very very energetic and positive and excited for the day. So excited that on our card, we all missed our drive on the first drive because we had so much energy in us. But there was a couple kind of exciting things that happened even right off the first shot. Hey.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, before we get into the good, I just want to call out someone who got a double bogey on their first shot or their first hole of the day, and then decided to go off for the rest of the day. Travis Bouchard on your card.
Yes.
Yeah.
Decided early he hated bogeys. He hated them, so he got us out of the way, which is a smart move.
Yes.
Smart move.
We tried to follow that lead, but it was a hard one to follow.
But yeah, right off the first shot of the day, Andrew Gillespie, a whole original 10, smashes the ace, and he's in the ace pot, so he got his payout on that. And it's funny, right before we were starting the tournament, we kind of at the trail house said, "Man, wouldn't that be so cool if someone just got an ace right off the bat, like just first shot of the day went in?" It was, that's how could you start the day any better? Literally, you can't. It's one shot.
Yeah. Puts a little bit of pressure on you for the rest of the round, but
yeah. Absolutely. And it's funny because like I don't know about other TDs, but I just love watching the scores come in. So I'm on PDGA live watching, and then I go watch this shot, that shot, and see what this. The other thing that I saw early on that was so exciting was Kristen on original 4 put her drive to about 15 feet away, and I went, oh well, that's a birdie all day. That's great. Takes the putt, hits the cage, rolls all the way down to the bottom of the fence. And I went, oh no, like that's terrible luck. And then I don't even see her make the throw. All I see is the disc come up from the very bottom and in the basket. Saves the par.
And there was a lot of noise because we were just across the road still, and we heard just all this wild cheering, and we knew there was something exciting going on. So it was great to hear what Kristen had done.
Yeah, I almost had to give that card a penalty stroke or two for how much fun they were having, because they were a noisy bunch, but they were loving it. It was great. And Jody on that card, it was her first tournament. She got
Yeah.
her first ever birdie in disc golf. She smashed her Rundle personal best and got her first
Yeah.
ever birdie on hole original 5 in the tournament. So just again, just a great story. Just like that is what people will remember for a long time.
Just
For
goes to
sure.
show you that playing in the winter, some people say playing in the winter can be detrimental. Your form isn't great, you're all wrapped up, you're bundled up, but just to see her progression through the winter to be, like say, and maybe not every week, but she made her personal best at Hermitage the week before, I think, and then to come out and get first birdie. I mean, that's always a good feeling, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, everyone on her card's going to remember that. She's going to remember that. And it's just like, it's such a feel-good story. Like, it's so great.
Yeah. Now, was that the only ace, or I think I talked to Quinn. I know he got an ace in practice beforehand, which wouldn't have counted, but
Does not
at least it
count.
was good warm up. But
There were 3 aces on the day. So let's see if I can
Wow.
remember. There was Jonathan Auger, Andrew Gillespie, and Jake Witt. Those were the three aces that we had. So 2 of them were in that crazy second round.
wow.
Yeah. Do you
Do you
remember which holes they were on?
I don't remember Jonathan's, and I think Jake's was on the hole where you go from 3's tee pad to 14's basket. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
I think, but I could be wrong about that.
The same one that
Zoe
just recently aced as well.
Yeah, I think it's that one. I could be wrong though. But it was in that little debacle area. One of those 3 holes. Yeah. So.
Well, that one always amazes me because I know Steve Newman says he's aced that one, and then Zoe gets her first ace. Like, I'm just trying not to hit the tree off the tee pad, let alone ace that hole.
I've figured it out. I haven't aced it, but it's a Firebird. If you could,
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's a Firebird, but it's a standstill. You gotta do it from a standstill, and if you do that, you'll hit that gap every time.
Well, one thing that was good about that hole, I don't know when you went out there and marked it, but I know we were thankful on our card that you extended the tee pad a little bit so that we could actually run up on the gravel beside it, because that trying to even, like you said, if you're doing a standstill on that tee pad, because the way that you're standing on it, you're standing on the tee pad sideways.
Yeah.
But just to be able to give us people that need a bit of a run up that area to run on the left hand side and not have to worry about slipping on the tee pad, that was really appreciated.
So I'm just realizing this now. Actually, I didn't have that planned, but I went out for a practice round with Kristen and with Zoe, and Zoe was the one who recommended extending that tee pad. And I know the shot she threw it from that left side for her ace. So it's all making sense now.
Yeah, a cunning plan.
Yeah. So that was her. That was all her for that. See, I've been getting such great suggestions from the community about this tournament too. Just like, the hole placements from Kristen, or the tee pad extension from Zoe, or just so many people are so I like that they're willing to give me input. Like, I like to think that if it's a good idea, like, I'm gonna take it, and I like people knowing that I'm gonna listen to them and that they're gonna be heard. So,
no, that's great. Now, was there any other standout stories that kind of came out to you? Because you being on the 18th, well, we're going to say old 18, standing up at the top there, we got a chance to see as we went by. So you would have talked to everybody and you were watching the cards. Was there any other great stories that you heard?
There was a couple. I think more than a great story, I watched Greg Gatsky haul a piece of carpet around for his footing for the last round.
He's a very serious man when it comes to his disc golf.
I mean, he cashed in MPO, so I mean his little slice of carpet worked. So that was great. I'm trying to think if there must be other stories. Oh, Terry had a throw in on hole 18. That was really a big throw in.
Yeah.
So, Terry does that. She did that at Tundra Toss last year. She did that at River City Cup, I believe. She has this thing about throwing it in on that hole. And I think she said on your podcast, I was listening to that podcast today, actually. I think she said that she likes to run them like laser beams, flat and hard.
Yes.
And she's kind of got a perfect putt for like the occasional 80-foot throw in. So she did that. You know what? Everyone had good vibes all tournament.
Yes.
So it was cool to see the people come through, and just lots of appreciation, and yeah, it was great.
Well, I remember that, Daryl, because you and I, our jaws kind of dropped when Terry was saying that she just smashes 90 and 80-foot putts, and we're like,
Yeah.
You putt from 90 and 80 feet? That's where we throw from. We don't putt from there.
It's the Terry way. She's so fearless. And I'm often watching her like, you need to be very fearful right now. And she's just not. And she makes it work. Like, she's just incredible. Like, as a person who sometimes struggles to make 25 footers, watching her just go up there and just smash putts is just like jaw dropping.
Yes. Yeah, no fear. Well, then, so we had a great morning, right, Daryl? Like the weather was beautiful. It was awesome to play. We came in, we had some lunch, and we had a good chance to meet a number of listeners, and we even got a few interviews. So we're going to see if we can't put them into this episode as well. But then we went out for that second round, and it started out pretty darn awesome still.
Yeah,
and then about 2/3 of the way in, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I saw up at the trail house, because obviously I'm higher to the clouds. I saw some flakes coming down pretty early, and I was, again, TD kind of thing all week, the month leading up to it. You're checking like a 45-day forecast and a 30-day and then I'm seeing like, okay, 2:00, it looks like it's gonna hit. And sure enough, right? Like, again, I was in the trail house, so I was kind of like in and out watching people and a little bit isolated. And then I remember we were kind of in a circle, just having some good conversation, and I noticed that the windows of the trail house were all fogged up. And I hadn't seen that before, and I was like, I had been in conversation, it had been bunch of minutes had passed. I hadn't really noticed what it was like outside, and then all of a sudden I noticed the trail house windows were fogged up, and I remember opening the door and just being like, whoa, what, like, this is a different day all of a sudden. Like, it was, it came on so quickly. And I love that. Truth be told, I thought that was like, sure, I could say that because I was inside the trail house and you guys were out there throwing discs in it. But I kind of love that, like, that doesn't stop the tournament. That doesn't stop people having fun. It kind of enhances the experience, because I think, again, people will look back to it and be like, man, that morning round was so beautiful. And then in the afternoon, it was a blizzard.
Yes.
Everyone's got that story. You remember that one time at Tundra Toss when we went out in the morning? Yeah.
Yeah.
But and the other good thing as well is that, some tournaments will play on a Friday or a Saturday. They'll play around at one course, and then the next day they'll go and play at a different course. But we kind of had that experience of 2 different courses, 2 different ways to play in just one day.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously. And I mean, I'd love to talk to more people about how that changed their game planning, or how that changed their strategies, or if it changed it. Some people, I'm sure, just went, nope, doesn't change a thing. I just keep going. But yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I know for us, I think me and you, Jeremy, it definitely changed our run up in the morning to a standstill throw in the afternoon.
Yeah. I would say it was old 7. I think we were on the big long hole. We got off that tee pad okay. I think we had a regular throw, but by the time we got to old 8, we were looking at that tee pad and going, there's no way I'm stepping up on this thing. I'm just going to stand still throw.
Yeah.
So it did change our game. And what made that interesting, as you said, is when you look back at what the round ratings were, I shot 1 higher in the second round than I did in the first round, but I had a much better round rating just because of the conditions.
Yeah, the round ratings varied quite a bit, and like just a lot. And like I have a buddy who shot plus 11 both rounds, and the difference in round ratings was like 60 points different ratings.
Wow.
So it was pretty wild. And I'll call out one other friend of mine. My dear friend, oh hello Nixon. My dear friend Jason Miller, who he was part of my origin story.
Yes.
In the beautiful, calm, grassy round 1, shot 6 over.
Okay.
MA2, it's fine. It's okay. Mm-hmm. And in round 2, shot a 7 under.
What?
Where does that come from?
I mean, he's capable of it. Like, he's got all the talent in the world. I guess he just hates good weather. I don't know. So I thought that was pretty great. And then I know we'll get to him when we talk about the winners of divisions, but I do have to call out Travis Bouchard. What he did to the MA40 division was not nice.
No, it wasn't. We were witnesses to it, at least half of it.
Like like downright rude. And I've been meaning to talk to him about it. Like just really mean. He just laid the smack on you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
But you know what? The thing about Travis is that although he did that, we still enjoyed every single hole we played with him because he's just such a good guy and a great person to have on your card. Like I'd have him on my card any day.
isn't that frustrating though, that he's beating you so badly and yet he's so nice? Doesn't that make you like, don't you just want to try? Oh, doesn't that? Yeah, that would make me upset.
I was hoping that, as we normally say, you play to the ability that you're playing with. I was hoping that it would raise my game, but somehow that didn't happen this weekend. So,
Well,
you can blame him for that. That's fine.
Daryl, I don't know if this is an English reference. I think it might be a Pink Floyd one, but I think it was, "Thank you, sir. Can I have another?" After he would slap another birdie down on us.
yeah.
Yeah, he kind of lost his mind. I think he might have blacked out or something. Someone should probably check in on him.
Well, that's good segue there, though, Tim. So if you wanted, we could go into. I've got the list of all the winners, and if you've got any comments that you want to add to there, and I'll start right at the top. So winning MPO was Riley Douglas.
Yep. So I went down to the hole 18 to talk to him after he was like 6 birdies in a row, and I walked up to him and asked him. I said, "Are you trying to throw a 2,000 rated round? What are you doing?" And then he proceeded to shank a shot, and I said, "Sorry, I'll go away." But he wasn't score watching. He didn't know where he was at, and he thought he was playing. He thought he was playing good, but not great. But yeah, he went off. Like just an impressive performance by Riley.
Yes.
He ended
And
up
looking at
minus
that too.
25. Yeah.
Exactly.
Over 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Minus 25 and only his 3rd career win. So that's got to be a big deal, right? When you're competing up at that MPO level to pull out a win, that's pretty hard work to do.
Yeah, 1,000 rated event. I think 1,012 rated event. So that's a hard thing to do. And kudos to him for pulling it off.
Yeah. And then on the FPO side, Zoe Lorenz Bozer comes in with the win.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with Kristen about it the day of and the day after. I mean, Zoe's just been playing like relentlessly lately. She's been going out in every condition, playing 3 rounds a day or just practice putting, and like she's committed to practice and committed to like working on her game. And it's just like, you know, she also laid a pretty good smack on the FPO field with a -6 for the tournament. Like really impressive stuff for her. She throws it a mile. Her putts were connecting, and I think she wiped out at one point and was kind of slightly injured. Kristen's nodding her head, and she was okay, but she was like, "Yeah, I can't feel my hand," and then she'd walk up and make like a 25-foot putt, like no problem. So I mean, kudos to her for grinding it out.
Yeah, just good. I mean, obviously we know it anyway, but just goes to show all that practice pays off. Taking the win down on the weekend,
Yeah, absolutely. Her second win. Her first one was at Lost Egg. That's her second win in FPO.
There you go. And then in MP40,
everyone's
the one
favorite
and only Uncle Stephen Newman. Daryl loves it when I say the one and only, but that's why I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he was MP40 champion last year, if my memory serves me correctly, which it might not, but I think he was. Again, you know, these guys who are good at disc golf and are so nice, it's so frustrating. Why can't he be good at disc golf and not nice? Like then it would be easier to dislike him.
You said he said he won last year. I thought it was like an unwritten rule that if you won your division, you had to move up. Like, shouldn't he be playing MPO now?
I mean, shouldn't he? I think he's closer to MP50.
Wow, there you go.
There you go. Well, and that's the thing is you say with Steve is that I've got to play a number of winter rounds with him, and he's such a nice guy, and he's given me some good tips that I've asked for. I've said, "Hey, do you think you could help me?" And he's always keen on doing that. He's like, "I shouldn't be helping you because I'm going to be competing against you at some point, but I'm happy to help you."
Yeah, he's so good. He's when his putter is working, he is very good.
Yeah, those recos, he's got those orange recos, and they're always going in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we move to MA1. Someone new to the city really won that one, and that was Matt Dwyer.
Matt Dwyer, council member, EDGA council member Matt Dwyer, who's played a lot of disc golf and played in a lot of clubs. He said it was a battle, and I put him on a card with Gavin Beamish just so that he could witness Gavin in all of his ability, because anyone who knows anyone and knows that Gavin is quite the force here around Edmonton. And he was super impressed with Gavin, of course. But he said it was a pretty big battle right down to the wire, and managed to pull it out by one stroke at the end. So big ups to Matt. And I think he told me that he's been a bridesmaid a lot, but never a bride in MA1. So I think this might be his first MA1 or pretty close to. So big ups to him for that.
Yeah. And then being part of the Dark Ace team, he had a chance to meet Jerry Ann and Arlen and meet some fellow Dark Ace teammates there. So he said that was a good experience as well.
Oh, that's so great. I mean, I love it. I love just the community aspect of it. Just never ceases to amaze me.
All right, Daryl, you take over for the second half here.
Sure, yeah. Then moving down to the FA1, we had someone coming in from out of town from Hinton. So it's Tracy St. John, or is Tracy St. Jean, or is it St. John? I've heard her name pronounced both ways over the weekend.
I actually know people who go by either, so okay. I'm not actually certain on which way she prefers, but I've heard I know people who are St. Jean and St. Jean. So
okay, Tracy, Tracy ended up winning, with a plus 19 there, taking him down the FA1 division,
and fighting off Janna, who I mean, kind of like Zoe, puts in a lot of work. She's always at the camps, always at the Winter League, like putting league. She's out there, and Janna's a force. And that battle went back and forth for a while, and it was cool. And but like I mentioned earlier, Kristen played on that card for round one, and Kristen said that card was having so much fun. Like it was just having such a great time. And you know, kudos to Jody for getting in on that card to play FA1 with those ladies and just go out and have a ball and shoot her PB. Like so great. And big ups to Tracy. Is Tracy the current FA 40 Canadian champion, national champion? I think that's what her title is.
She might be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know her and Charles did go out to Thunder Bay in the summer last year.
Yeah, I don't want to misquote that, but I'm pretty sure she's like the reigning FA 40 Canadian Nationals champion. So
wow,
I think
we
had some disc golf royalty at the moment in the house. Was there at the tournament?
Yeah, you can have your in-house stat checker check that one up later. You guys have that, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, moving on, we've already mentioned him a couple times, but I guess we're going to have to mention him again. Taking down MA40, as we mentioned, Travis Bouchard kind of laid the smack on everybody.
Yeah, I mean, when his putter's on too. Like I play a lot with Travis. He is such a good putter, and he's a good driver, great with approaches. Everyone knows he's number one with a Berg. If his putter's going, look out, because he could. I mean, you know, what did he shoot? -15 for the weekend. Yeah,
-15. Yeah.
I mean, that would have been good enough for tied for 5th in MPO.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you know,
and I know you mentioned it there. He started off with a double bogey. I think we all bogeyed or double bogeyed that whole one, and you know, it kind of made it a little bit good there. You know, okay, Travis bogeyed it as well, double bogeyed it, so. You know, we're in good company, but then he just decided that's enough, and then he just took off, and we never seen him again.
Yeah, he decided he hated bogeys. It's a smart move.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing Travis also did there was he has quite the run up, right? When he runs up and then he gets off the tee pad, and it was talking about slipping, was going up the hill, so that would have been old hole 8 on the first round. He had slipped, and he was okay. But then we were ahead of him, and we saw him, and the snow had fallen now, and that tee pad was covered in snow. And Daryl and I said, "We're standing still. We're not doing it." And Travis stepped up again and walked up and ripped another one on that one. So talking about the no fear, and he was able to keep his footing that time. And yeah, he was out there to win. Like he was out there for blood. So
yeah, he told me he didn't really feel like he was going to win until like maybe like 5 or 6 holes left, when he realized it was probably going to happen. So I mean, good on him for staying in it. Like it's not always easy to do, just keep focused like that when you're that far out in front or in the battle. So good on him.
Yeah. We won't begrudge him that one. Moving on to MA2. We've mentioned him before in the Winter League because obviously he aced at Hermitage, but Jacob Neufeld, first event What did you put here, Jeremy? I don't understand
Oh,
those
so what he
notes.
did was he's only been in 2 PDGA sanctioned events, and one was being down at Raptors Knoll at the Trinity West tournament there that him and Zoe were participating in. So he's played 2 events, and the other one was a little bit tougher. They went to Raptors Knoll, sight unseen, played in the
Yeah.
rain. So then he comes out and wins this one.
And in a playoff too. So they went and played hole 19, or well, the gully shot, it's 21, but we call it 19. He wins that in a playoff, and I didn't get to see the putt because I was just leaving the building when he made the putt, but I heard it was a 45-footer to put the pressure on Jordan West, and Jordan just came up short on the putt, but that's a pretty exciting way to win that division with a big putt.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And that hole there too is now obviously with the change in the weather conditions, it's a different story. But that hole for those guys, if they're dialed in and they're playing well, it should be a couple birdies, but it actually became the separator.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we had a playoff on that hole in, I think it was MA4 last year, I think. It was Gavin Beamish was in that playoff.
Yes, he was. I remember that. And they played a few holes though. I think they
had,
did to get through it.
I believe they replayed it 3 times.
Right.
I believe they replayed it 3 times, and I like that hole a little because you kind of have the people by the trail house are watching, and it's even though it's a short little hole, it's that gully and the river is just there enough to play on your mind a little bit. So
yeah, and there's just enough guardian trees or little saplings there that are just enough to take out your line, right? So
yeah, and I did see a couple people hit one of those guardian trees and roll OB, so it works.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then rounding out the card here, or the winners in the MA4 division, Rob Baumauer.
Yeah, I don't know Rob that well, but what I do like to see is not traditionally, but often enough in MA4, I usually see one person destroy the competition, like kind of maybe didn't understand their ability level and just played really well. Like there tends to be a little bit of separation from the very top to the rest of the field. And Rob came in with a -3 and was only 3 strokes ahead of Tristan and then a couple strokes behind Josh. So I felt like the scores in that division were actually pretty reasonable. I don't feel like anyone sandbagged or anything like that. Like it felt like, okay, someone who probably was probably MA4 worthy and was deserving of the win got it. So
yeah, good. Congratulations to all the winners.
Yeah, I hope they enjoy the medals. We've been getting medals from Tylene, and they're I don't know, they just kind of fit the Tundra Toss logo, that little circle logo that we just change the colors for every year.
Yeah,
and it fits right in. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention thank you to Pursuit of Motion for sponsoring the event. They do give us a cash little sponsorship to be the title sponsor, and their sponsorship dollars help. And being on site with Tristan Pisca is just a big benefit for the club. And, the event definitely isn't what it is without them there. And as well to have you guys with your beautiful new banner, it's just awesome. It just makes the event so much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not official, because it's a sanctioned event, but it definitely adds to the event to have, people like yourself there representing this wonderful entity you guys have created, and then having Wildman there, and then having Tristan, like it all adds to it.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned beforehand that you really wanted to create that community trade show kind of feel to it, and I think having us all there, and from our point of view, Jeremy, is that's what we're aiming to do with this podcast, is to showcase the community and showcase disc golf and things like that, and bring everyone together and kind of shed some light on people that maybe a lot of, if you've been playing disc golf, maybe there's people that you don't know too much about. Like maybe you don't know too much about Tristan. Maybe you don't know anything about Terry. Maybe you don't know anything about, Tim yourself or things like that. So just getting to be able to talk to these people and just ask them the questions. One of the feedback that we had, or that I got from when I was there, was that so many people just came up to us and were saying that we just appreciate the way our approach. We're the amateur disc golfers, and we're just asking questions that everybody else just wants to ask as well. So we got some good feedback for being on site as well.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I mean, you guys do such a great job of just shining the spotlight on great community members, and it's not really about skill level. It's about just their experience in the community and their impact, and I think that's such a wonderful way to look at the community. Like, there's always going to be separation in skill levels, but at the end of the day, we're all playing the same sport.
Yeah. And that's it, is that we say we're doing it for fun because we enjoy it, but we're also getting that feedback. Someone really, really enjoyed some of the stuff that Carrie had to say when we talked to her and let us know about that. And then, we've had Tristan said that he had somebody come in and start seeing him because of the show. So if we get those little extra things that happen out of the podcast, then it's just really feeling like the community, we're trying to do our part to connect the community together.
I mean, arguably Tristan's trying to start a war with the north side versus the south side, but we'll leave that for we'll leave that.
We tried to interview Gabe, but it kind of didn't work out. But we're going to get him on the podcast a little bit later. But he's definitely a south side supporter. So
yes, I know. Yeah. I think what you should do is maybe have Gabe and then bring Tristan in without telling him, and then they can just take over.
I don't think we want to start any more war. We're already kind of hearing it. The fact that Tristan was on first and not Gabe.
Yeah.
Yes. I had already thrown it out to Tim, to Daryl. I said, well, maybe what we should do is Daryl and Gabe versus Tristan and I in a doubles match, and that'll be north side versus south side.
Well, just got to find the most central course.
Yes, there you go. Well, to move from Tundra Toss a bit let's not forget about the fact that it was Welcome Day. How was that portion of the day? How did it go, and what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it went really well. I think the reception was really positive for the new tags. We got these really awesome new bag tags supported by EDGA Canada now, which have a QR code that links to kind of all of our club sponsors and our landing page, which is really great. We are, if we're talking pure numbers, we were a little bit trailing from last year's, which I'm not too surprised about, just given the weather in the afternoon and the parking lot not being available. I think those two barriers probably made up the difference of why we were a little bit lagging the amount of registrations we had compared to last year. But something I think that was really interesting is we're currently at about 120 registrations, which is, like I said, maybe 15 behind last year, 15 to 20 behind last year, not much. Okay. But we've picked up, as of this point today, 20 first-time EDGA members. So
awesome.
That's a pretty high percentage of the people who are already registered who are first-time members of the club. Like, we're pretty used to seeing a little attrition and a lot of new people, and especially with Nisqually, people wanted to play it, so they were joining EDGA for the first time. But to have so many so soon is really interesting. Traditionally, we see kind of like our people who are like, yep, Thursday Rundle, Northwest League, Doubles League, like the kind of the people who are like a little bit more seasoned register early. But to see this many people that are first-time EDGA club members register this early is really, I hope it's a really good sign that we are going to get to 500 people this year.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Is that kind of your unofficial goal? Is that what you'd like to see? I mean, obviously you don't want to set goals because if you don't hit them, then you kind of feel a little bit bad. But is that kind of like
come on.
That's my way of thinking. I'm allowed to think that way. But is that kind of your little side goal?
We ordered 500 bag tags.
Okay.
So
fair. That's good.
We've went from, I think I mentioned it last time, from like around 70 to 211 to 255 to 400. And I don't expect to grow to the same from 255 to 400. I don't expect that. Yeah. Maybe, but I would really love to hit 500. And I'd love, if I'm being selfish, if I may for one moment.
Absolutely.
I'd love to see what I've kind of already started to see happen, which is that I'm seeing a lot of people who are couple, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever years into being a club member, engage their family and friends to join the club. I'm seeing a lot of like family names come through, or people that are registering together as friends, or and if I may ask your listeners, that's how we grow our club organically, is through recommendations. Join the club. It's only $20. We can go play this great course. It gives you access to this league. It gives you a couple perks here and there. We have a new partnership with Sea Change Brewing that will give people 15% off in the tap room with showing their bag tag, as well as some other benefits. And that's that's already out there. We're just kind of waiting to the official announcement, but that's already out there. But if I could ask one thing of people that hear this, it's like, don't hesitate to ask your disc golf friends and family that may or may not be club members to join the club. Like, help us get to 500. I feel like we've done so much to give to this community, and this community just always gives it right back to us. They show up for the events, they give us their feedback, they're always so engaged with us. This would be my ask for this year, is like, let's all work together to get to 500. When we were on the phone with EDGA Canada the other day, a couple weeks ago, talking about some bigger sponsorship pieces down the line, he mentioned that he can't think of a bigger club in North America.
Really?
And I don't know how. I mean, I would challenge that there's probably a few that must be bigger. But this is a guy who works for EDGA who's saying, like, there are clubs in the States that are not nearly as big as we are. And I think that's just really, really telling of how inclusive our community is, and how just how invested everyone is around this sport locally. So that would be my ask for this year. And again, huge props to you guys for bringing local content every single week, and just like shining the spotlight on our community members. It's just such a fantastic thing. It all adds to this community. It all adds to what we're trying to do here. And yeah, I haven't really set a goal for 500, but I would love to hit 500 this year. I would love it.
Well, thank you for the kind words with that too, Tim. But a couple of things that I would say is, looking at those tags, Brock had let us show them on the episode, and we had kind of seen the flat 2-dimensional image of them. And then when we saw them in person, not only are they big, and then they're thick as well, like those ones are going to stand out, which is amazing, because that's one of those things that, it becomes a speaking point when it's hanging off your bag, and you talk to somebody, you can either see they have one or they don't have one, and it can be that way to tell them about EDGA and sell them on it. And the second point I wanted to say with it as well was that if anybody's listening from, say, Central Alberta, or up in Fort McMurray, or Grand Prairie, or one of those areas where they're coming to town here and there, spend your $20 now, spend it early, get your tag, so that when you roll into town, you can go hit NISCA and play the course that you haven't played in Edmonton, unless you had you wouldn't have had the opportunity yet. And that is one of the gems of our area right now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of private courses usually kind of have like a $10 fee to play at the one time, if not a membership. Yeah. I mean, your fee for the whole year is $20 to play that course. That in itself is worth it for that course. Even if you just play it one time, sure, $20 for the one course, but you're also supporting the club. So it's just like, it's a pretty sound investment. And those tags are so great. I don't know why I hadn't ever thought of a QR code on a bag tag. And it doesn't look gaudy. It looks fine. But it's so smart. It's just so smart to have that on there. And I give a ton of credit to Brock and to EDGA Canada for doing that.
And like you said, Jeremy, they're big enough that Brock had mentioned before that his bag tag currently was sitting on his keys and they were in his pocket. But the size of this bag tag, it's got the nice rubber elastic on it that you can just sling around your loop on your bag and then have it hanging there. It doesn't get in the way. It advertises EDGA. And then just to echo what you said, Tim, if there's any of our listeners out there now that go out on a weekend and play with their buddies or whatever, just go one weekend without buying beer. Just don't buy 2 or 3 coffees, and just buy your significant other a bag tag and drag them out with you. You'll have a blast. You'll get them involved in the sport, and then there's something else you can do on a weekend as well. So.
Yeah, it's such a great piece of property. It's so peaceful. It's so beautiful out there. Like, NISCA's one great reason. Yeah. Supporting the club is another great reason. Promoting the sport locally is another great reason. I really hope we get to 500 members. Like, that would just be the feather in my cap.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, let's do it, team. Everybody out there, let's make that happen.
Let's do it.
Feel like we've got 2 pushes now, Jeremy. We've got a push to 100 and a push to 500. And I think we're going to keep reiterating it, and we'll keep pushing it, Tim. Don't worry.
We've got your back.
Love it.
Well, before we wrap up, Tim, is there anything else that you wanted to add about either Welcome Day, Tundra Toss, or anything about the event? Or something that's coming up, too? Anything you want?
Yeah, we have a couple things coming up. So we have She's Up First, which is a women's only tournament hosted by Kristen Swirls. That's happening in May. The registration will be open by the time this airs. So
Yep.
head to Disc Golf Scene. It's such a welcoming, inclusive event where, I mean, people are. It feels like such a celebration of the game. Like every year that I'm there watching, it just feels like such a celebration of the game, and everyone's so warm. And like I think about Zoe. Actually, I think about Zoe's story a lot when I think about She's Up First and where she's come from and where she's gone. When I met Zoe, I was paired with her and another person to be like her league buddy for the year, and I adopted a noob, and she was the noob. And so I got to know her right from early days of disc golf. And then we were kind of like, yeah, Zoe, you got to play She's Up First. You got to do it. And I think she played FA2. Yeah, Kristen's doing FA2.
Okay.
And I think she ended up winning her division. And it was like, you could just see the wheels turning. Like, this is something that fits her and something that was like, she felt so proud of. And like, she had just started her disc golf journey and was like winning an FA2. And then it just, now look at her this past weekend taking down FPO in a division of 5 at Tundra Toss. I mean, I think about that a lot with this women's tournament. Kristen's built something really special, really, really special. And this will be the first ever tournament with full tee pads at Hermitage.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. So She's Up First. We'll have River City Cup coming up. We have tag team doubles, USDGC doubles qualifying match thing, which I'm going to sign up with Travis Bouchard. So look out.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Strike while the iron's hot, right? He's going to carry.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to have our annual NISCA event this year. We're working on an event for later in the year with Queer Disc Golf. So keep an eye out for that. Aside from our leagues, it's funny. I feel like the last couple of years, we really worked on our courses. We worked on building courses, getting new baskets, doing the tee pads. Like, we still have a lot to do with like a course maintenance, but I feel this year we are really taking off as an events coordinating entity. So look out for the events, like stay tuned to all those things. And of course, you fine gentlemen are welcome to be at any of those events, representing yourself in the community.
You never know, Tim. You never know. We may have already talked about a few things in the works. Yeah.
Yeah. Scheming and dreaming.
There you go.
And so, yeah, I mean, just keep an eye out for all the events that are going on. We've got so much happening this year. We've got such a fantastic council. We're off to an absolute roaring start. And just keep an eye out.
Yeah.
What I'd like to add at this point as well, as you're mentioning all those tournaments, is I know that some people may not be quite ready to play their first tournament, but it's also a great time for them to come out and just be part of the event. You can find somebody who maybe wants a caddy and carry a bag. You can volunteer. Daryl and I are super excited to be part of She's Up First and to volunteer at that tournament. And thanks to Carrie Neal for just putting that seed in our heads to say, hey, you guys aren't playing in that event. Why not volunteer? And we're like, that's a great idea. So we reached out to Kristen. I don't know what she's going to do with us, but she's got us now. So
I think our names are 1 and 2 on the list, Jeremy. That's what she said to me.
Okay. So let's put a lot more names underneath there. So
it's dangerous if you guys you're handing over the keys to Kristen. That's no, she'll put you guys to good use. That's for sure. And I think I saw you guys are both registered for spring runoff.
Yes, we are.
We are, and we've seen that you guys are registered as well.
We will be there. So maybe we can get together for a beverage and a quick record there.
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw it back to Welcome Day because I just had a question about that. And I'm not speaking on personal experience here, Tim, but if people, like you said, didn't get out to Welcome Day to pick up bag tag, is there going to be another... when would be another occasion for them to be able to get out and pick up their bag tag?
So the next
sign up.
Yeah, the next best window would be at the start of each league, which will happen in April. Which I know that's a ways from now, but I know between then and now we'll probably have another day of some sort. Last year we had 3 individual days to come pick up your bag tags, and then the kickoff of each league.
Right.
we haven't formally dreamed of any secondary windows. I know we will. I know that there's probably going to be like a, hey, let's do a doubles day in mid-March and do it or something like that. That's, we can cook one of those up really quickly. But outside of that, the best time to do it is actually the starting night of leagues. So that week, I'll bring all the tags to each league. So Hermitage, Northwest, Rundle, Hills League, wherever I can be, I'll be there with them. And then at any of our events, so even the training camp that goes on during the weekends, we'll make sure that we'll have, or on the Fridays, we'll make sure we have tags available. We're going to make sure that we make them available to people. I'm kind of used to people showing up at my door at like 11:30 at night being like, I need a tag because my buddies are playing NISCA at 7 a.m. tomorrow. But yeah, we'll definitely have some events throughout the spring to get those to people. We want them into people's hands, so we'll have some things going out.
Just so people don't think that because they didn't sign up on Tundra Toss, that wasn't the only occasion. You can still get it throughout the year, so that's good to know.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, like it's not like a closed window. Like I was giving out tags until November last year, so we'll have them whenever people need them.
Perfect. And Tim, before we let you go, one more. Did you want to say something too about the women's clinics that are coming up as well?
Yeah, so we've got a few women's clinics coming up. We have some notable FPO players that are going to be hosting and doing some coaching at those clinics, thanks to the Women in Motion grant. They're at Foot Field, so it's all nicely indoors. And some of the clinics are free, and then some of the clinics are you get a discount for. So just keep an eye out, go ahead and look at edga.ca to see which clinic might apply best to you, especially the women's free ones. It's a really good way to just kind of understand the sport and kind of get your hand on some plastic and kind of see if it's for you or to advance your skills. We've got some fantastic coaches with some fantastic plans, and it's going to be really great. It's going to really be a great asset for our club members.
Good stuff.
Awesome. Well, good things ahead.
Okay.
Perfect.
I really want to flip the script for one quick second.
Okay.
Oh, I don't like this, Jeremy.
It's kind of like a reverse desert island type situation. Okay. So we've heard that we've done the desert island. We need your 3 discs. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear about from each of you one disc that needs to leave your bag immediately.
Oh,
That's
an interesting question.
Yeah, I've definitely got 1 or 2 in my bag that I'm like, why? I don't. So anyway, that's my question for you is what disc needs to leave your bag after this weekend, especially? What disc is banished from your kingdom?
Oh,
I know. I've got mine because I threw it probably on the first 6 or 7 holes, and it didn't do anything that I wanted it to, and I think I retired it then, and I didn't go through it for the rest of the round. So, and it's a new disc in my bag as well. So for me, it's my Avenger SS.
That's
gone.
The one that's got to go.
That's gone. Yeah,
into the North Saskatchewan.
Be replaced. There you go. Yeah.
I'm going to preface this one is not coming out of my bag, but it probably should. And it's because one time it will be like my best friend. We're just cuddling on the couch, watching TV. Is like that type of thing. And then the next thing, it's like I'm in the doghouse and we're not even friends anymore. So that was my astronaut. So my astronaut's very unstable. I had a drive on 18 that was just beauty. Daryl couldn't even believe I threw it. He's like, you just did that? That was your throw?
That was your longest drive on that I've ever seen you throw.
Exactly. So it just came up. It did a perfect S curve. It was beautiful. And then we went on to that nice long old hole 7. And then I threw it there, and that thing turned over and was over by the power box on the right-hand side. And I'm trying to get around the tree.
Banished. Get out of here.
Yeah. And what about you then? Firebird number which?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
No, I did pull a Captain's Raptor out of my bag recently to make room for a more stable Firebird. I'm not even joking. So I'm not even kidding. So the Captain's Raptor gone. We're going to the beefy 2023 Halo Firebird. So Sexton Firebird, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks for giving us one of those questions. That really had us thinking. Now we know how the guests feel
Yeah.
when we put it to them, right?
Yeah. You got to get a taste of your own medicine once in a while.
There you go. We appreciate it. Perfect. I think that was a good wrap up of everything that's happening right now in EDGA and this past weekend. I'm sure we'll have you on again closer to the events in the summer.
Yeah.
Start building those events up.
Yeah.
And
then, of course, we got as soon as the spring happens, as soon as the ground thaws, we'll be hopefully excited to get Science Park underway.
Yeah, that's the goal. There has been a change of management there that we've been told about at Sunridge. Okay. I don't know how or if that changes anything. Probably not, because contracts have been signed. But I don't know. But the goal right now is still, as soon as the ground is good, that to put the baskets in. So
yeah.
Awesome. So thanks a lot, Tim. We will have you on again. You know it. And if you've got anything, just always drop us a message and we'll be happy to share it.
Well, thank you guys for having me. And anytime you guys want me, and just don't stop. You guys are just absolute gems. And this community appreciates you so much. Not just EDGA, the whole community of disc golfers in Edmonton and around, and in part of the world. We just appreciate what you guys do. Thank you guys so much.
You're making us blush. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Okay, get out of here.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Later. Well, Daryl, I don't know about you, but I think my cheeks are a little flush from all those compliments that Tim threw our way.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's always nice to hear things. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to take. Tim should know that, because we tried giving him praise in the last episode that he was on, and he kept deflecting the praise. So he should know what it's like.
Yeah. Well, it was good to have him on. And also, that's a good point there too, Daryl, is that if you do want to see a full interview with Tim, we did have one. He gave us his origin story. He gave us his desert island discs. And on top of that, he also had this amazing story about meeting Big Germ at the Memorial Disc Golf Tournament. So tune into that. That was episode 8. Yeah, yep. Episode 8. So make sure to go back and check that out and talk to Tim.
Well, Jeremy, we were lucky enough to be on site at the Trail House, and here's some of the interviews that we did. Firstly, I got to sit down with Joe Ellard, who came second in the MA40 division. I've known Joe ever since I began in disc golf, so hope you enjoyed this interview. There you go. Hey, everybody. So we're joined with Joe. How you doing? Good. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Met him here at Tundra Toss today. You're playing in which division?
MA40.
Yeah. How's the round going for you today?
It was good, yeah. Better than last year.
Yeah, check the standings. I think you're second or third right now.
Oh, am I good?
Yeah, you're playing on the lead card next round. So I met you about a year ago, just after I started getting into disc golf. So how long have you been playing?
August 2020 was my first year.
Yeah. And you're in the south side of Edmonton, so you're on the pro Let's Get a Disc Golf course on the
Yeah, absolutely. I've been looking all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Yeah. So, and you've got some family to play as well?
Yeah, so I took my son out the first time, and he's like, we bought a beginner set and took out the ultimate disc. And yeah, he's 14 now. I was probably 11 or 12 back then.
Yeah.
Hit the hills, which is now I know is a smaller course, but it felt really big back then. And yeah, I was like, okay, there's something to this. Like, you throw the one disc, like, it's always one to the left. Why does it go there?
Everybody starts there, right?
Yeah, so it was, fun. And then, so I bought a beginner set, and then just from Amazon, I think it's just bought a bunch of random discs and kind of gave them to the kids, and then put them all together in my bag as my starting bag.
Yeah, that's awesome. And your son's quite good, I hear.
Well, that one, yeah, he's actually a great putter, but he's the one that carries the loose. So we have actually 5 kids, and one of them was the 2022 Alberta champ, and played at Ontario there at the homestead. And then a 10-year-old daughter also won that one. The 2 daughters going to get it. And then last year we went up to Athabasca.
The hidden gem.
Yeah, well, no, it's the youth one.
Right.
No, the youth one. And then my daughter won that one.
Nice. So it runs in the family. So we can expect you to pull it out.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, there you go.
I need to try.
So do you play many tournaments?
This one last year was my last tournament, so it's been a year. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see how this one goes with like the kids. If it's good at home, I might get out in 3 more.
Get out to do another one. Yeah. Well, we're heading down to Lethbridge for spring runoff here. So that's one tournament we're doing this year. We're sure we'll get out to a couple more. So maybe we'll see you around.
Right, yeah.
Okay, man. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting. Thank you.
And another person I got to sit down with, I was lucky enough to sit down with friend of the show, Janna, who came second in her division as well. So let's have a listen to see what she had to say. All right, so we're back here again with another great interviewer, or an interviewee, should I say. How are you doing?
Janna, I'm doing great. This is really super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. You having a good round?
Yeah.
Round one was good for you guys? You had your card was given all the highlights of it.
Yeah, we had a lot of highlights. A first birdie and a major throw-in and some PBs. So
absolutely, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So we've mentioned you on the show before. Friend of the show is Jeremy Likes Sequoia. So you want to tell us a bit about yourself? How long have you been playing?
Yeah, I'm Janna, and I'm in my 50s now. So I've started kind of late. We actually got into disc golf after COVID. I bought a kid in my family a starter set for his birthday.
Yeah.
And it just took off from there. And at first I was playing a little bit just so I could, play with the kids and enjoy it. And then I met Kristen randomly, and she said, "There's a ladies' league." I didn't know anything about it. I saw these people with backpacks and carts, and I thought it was crazy. I just thought, how do you get so many discs? But it didn't take very long. About a year ago, in January when it was kind of cold and snowy, I watched a few rounds of disc golf.
Like on YouTube?
On YouTube, yeah. So I watched the Samui Swine Classic and just thought it was the most amazing thing ever. They're in these like tropical climates playing disc golf, and that was really probably the first tournament that I watched. And then after that, I started thinking more about playing. So must have started in the spring because I'm on a 50-week streak on UDisc for having played once a week. We started really, we must have started playing. And the highlight for me, I think this is really a turning point, was going to Ledgestone this summer, past summer, and I was conscripted to keep score on UDisc. It was a little bit of a scary experience, but I got to meet Juliana Korber, and so that was like a huge highlight for me, and she was just super gracious. We had a really lovely time.
Awesome.
And
did you get a chance to play down there?
We played. I didn't play at none of the courses at Ledgestone, but we played around in the area. Played some really beautiful courses. One called the Canyons near Chicago. And just sort of kept road tripping, as you're driving from city to country. So
I think Jeremy's mentioned that before. Now, there's whenever we go on a trip. Before it was whether you could get away with just carrying a hand luggage. But now you've got to make room for discs to take with you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
there's
I'm
always a course wherever you're going.
Yeah, and you don't need a ton of discs with you. I found I can just get away with taking a few and just playing quick rounds to stretch your legs in between things.
Absolutely.
And it's really been an amazing journey. And I'm trying to collect courses now too. So trying to play new ones. So I think I played my 55th course this last. So it sounds like a lot of experience, but I'm still a work in progress as far as
I think that's all of us, right?
Yeah.
So you're here playing Tundra Toss this week, or today. Did you play any other tournaments last year?
This is my second official tournament. So I played the She's Up First tournament, which is such an amazing first experience for women, and I learned a lot. I got to play with some experienced players that really taught me a lot about the rules and how to navigate it. And I'm on a card right now with Jody, this is her first tournament, so it's really fun. We can kind of pass it along. And
I got a chance to play with Jody at Winter League.
At Winter League, yes.
She was awesome. We had fun playing together there. Yeah. So,
And,
do you have any other tournaments lined up for this year?
I haven't registered for any, but I'm
have
kind
them on
of
your
keeping
radar?
my eye open, following them on UDisc, because
Yeah.
you guys talked about that on your podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm getting little email updates. So
Right.
yeah, I have to travel again for work in June. So I'm kind of looking at like if it's possible to play a little on the way there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also discovered sometimes there's open leagues that you can play if you're in a place
Well, that's
for a
awesome.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Another way to make good friends and play
Oh,
another
that's
course.
for sure. Yeah, yeah.
I know a friend of the show, Mark and Jeremy,
Yeah.
have a kind of a running battle to see who has the most amount of courses that they've played. But I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I think you topped them by
Do I
quite
still
a bit.
top them? Yeah.
You can't be at an event that the disc dog is at without having a conversation with him. And I got to have a great conversation with Briggsy, and let's listen to that now.
Go. Hey, Jeremy here from Chainout, sitting at Tundra Toss 3 with the one and only Briggsy, the disc dog. How's it going, brother?
Good, my brother.
Good
to see you. Get over here. Get some hugs. I love you, dude.
Yeah, love you too, man. How's your day going?
Pretty damn good now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Start wasn't so good.
No.
Missing putts like crazy.
Okay.
No big deal. You let her slide, forget the shots,
Yep.
move on to your next shot, put it in.
So you're playing MP40 this tournament?
MP40.
Yeah. You
Yep.
get a good card?
I got a great card.
Yeah.
With Uncle Steve, I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't leave that guy alone. I honestly wasn't going to play
Okay.
until I saw Uncle Steve on the card, and I go, he's not getting away that easy.
No way. Yeah,
No
well,
joke,
and,
no
and
joke.
he's been practicing because he's been in Winter League and obviously doing a great job with that. And it's either him or Dylan Froelich, it seems, that always got the high scores.
Absolutely,
So, yeah.
absolutely, and then rightfully so. They're great players, man.
They are.
Amazing players,
Yeah.
and so much fun to play with.
Yeah. So this afternoon, you think you got some room for improvement? Or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. No, I got 7 putts I missed out there. I know for a solid fact, and I'm gonna grab those back. I have to.
Yeah.
I'm trailing them right now. I'm coming to get them.
Well, it's awesome.
Bring it on, Uncle Steve.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was going to say, we talked about you so many times on the show.
Yes,
You've had
thank
your
you.
CTV News
Yep.
video there.
Yep.
That was pretty awesome. I don't know if as many people knew, like how disc golf, how much it's changed your life, really.
Oh,
right?
dude. Anybody who meets me, all I talk about is losing weight, staying active, and giving her.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. Get moving, have fun, and enjoy everybody every day.
Well,
That's the best part.
And you've always got like a hip belt on with like what, 4 or 5 discs in there?
5.
What do you play? 5 discs.
5.
And you can play any course, and you're just going as quick as
5.
you can.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
How many? What's the most amount of rounds you've gotten a day?
Well, in a day, 9.
Yeah.
9 in
You
a
play
day.
9 and
9 at
like
Rundle.
18 rounds?
Yes,
18 holes?
9 rounds here 2 years ago in one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you like? For me, like I've had problems sometimes with my arm getting sore and stuff like that. Have you just worked on form, or how do you get through that many?
No,
a day?
actually, I've got a guy that actually. Can I borrow you there, Tristan? This man here,
we got some.
get in here. He's my hero. He's my hero. My arm is not killing me. There we go. Because of this podcast, 2 weeks ago, I went and saw him.
Yes.
Or a week ago, week and a half. And it doesn't hurt. Go to Tristan.
Yes.
Disc golfer that knows to heal people.
Yes.
And he knows all the exercises. This is the guy.
And that was the reason we did have Tristan on, was because we were trying
That's
to
why
make
I
sure.
went.
Yeah.
I've known he's been doing this forever.
Yeah.
But I'm not smart enough. You had to tell me.
Right.
And I went and saw him, and wow, like amazing. The exercise he gave me a week and a half ago, I don't have any more arm pain.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so I know you work with Wildman, and you guys had signed Gavin.
Yes.
Is that your guys' first Wildman signing as a sponsored
yes.
player?
Yes.
Awesome.
That kid is unbelievable. And you want to learn disc golf? That's who you play with.
Right.
The dude's 15 years old and out of the realm of disc golf in my head.
Yes.
I get to watch some crazy lines. I watched him at Jubilee last week. We're on T-pad 4. I watched him throw 480 feet in the air and land it 10 feet behind the basket, not touching the ice in front of the basket with the skating rink.
Wow.
On the fly.
That's awesome.
It's the craziest thing to see.
Well, and I just seen, he just posted a video. I think it was his, I know he's had more than one ace, but that was his first ace that he got on video. It looked like, what was that, hole 8?
Hole
maybe
8,
at?
yeah. Yeah, I know. He's upset because he's got 3 there. And I'm accidentally going to go out there, and that basket is sunk into the ground so far. I think we have about 2 feet before the basket touches the ground. So I'm going to raise it to about chin level.
Okay.
So he's complaining. He goes, well, you get an ace and you'll keep it there. I go, no, I won't. It needs to change. So, yeah.
And what else? What do you guys got planned with Gavin this year? Are you guys gonna he's still staying amateur, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He needs to. There's no point in him moving up right now. He needs to go to junior nationals and win the Blighty thing.
Yes.
That's the key. And he's working on his game. I get to hang out with him multiple times a week, and I love it because he'll hit me with a DM. Hey, Jubilee 3:30 to 5:30 question mark, and I'll answer back. I'm already there. So I'm waiting for him. But no, he's just a blast to play with, man.
Yeah.
Like an absolute blast.
Well, we're going to put it out there right now, right? Is that we've talked about Jubilee before. Daryl didn't necessarily say the nicest things about Jubilee.
Oh, dude.
But you've got a couple different versions that we might be able to see out there.
I've got the new Daryl version. It's the Disc Dog 18. It's live on UDisc, and I urge everybody to play it. Yeah. The reason being, from your first tee pad to the first basket is hole number 4. It's 1,268 feet and a par 6.
1,268 feet.
It's par 6. There are par 5s, there are par 4s, and ace runs. But Wildman and I went out there and we redesigned the whole avenue. When you're playing, we want you to play it, but if there's someone playing the regular 9, let them play.
Right.
Stand back, let them do what they're doing, wait till they're gone, and continue on. And that's the easy way of doing it. I've been on there with 4 or 5 different groups playing at the same time, and I'm by myself. I'm playing my own lines, and nobody even knows I'm really there.
Right. So it doesn't really interfere
it doesn't
with
impede.
other people.
No,
Yeah.
you just be cognizant of let the person on the 9 play it.
Yes.
And then do what you do on the Disc Dog 18.
For
and
sure.
It's awesome. It's so much fun.
Well, another thing too, Briggsy, is that you are in the top number of rounds played on UDisc, and you're hunting for the very top. But where are you at these days?
Right now, as of today, I'm in 31st in the world. I'll be at 30th
in the world. Not just
week,
locally, Canada, in the world.
Yeah, next week I'll definitely be in 30th. I was 30th yesterday and a guy jumped ahead of me. Big deal. Don't care. I'll catch him. Doesn't matter. There's no way I'm going to catch the first guy. I don't have enough life. He's 6,500 rounds.
6,500?
Yeah, 6,500 plus. Right now.
This is a live check. 2,199 rounds played by the Disc Dog. So after this afternoon,
2,200.
2,200
today after this round. I'm pumped for this.
Yeah, it's a good celebration too.
It's gonna be fun.
So number of rounds, and how about with the courses? Have you got a pretty good selection of courses that you've played?
48.
48 courses, yeah.
Cool for me. I decided I'd phone Penny a couple days ago, and I go, "What are you doing on the 28th through the 30th of June?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "I don't know." I go, "Well, let's book our flights because I'm gonna play the BC Open."
Oh, nice.
Raptors. Can't wait to come back to that one.
Have you played Raptors
yes.
before?
I played it once.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wild Man. It is the best course I've ever played.
Raptors is?
Yeah,
okay.
it's crazy.
Well, I saw the Park Pro footage here just of the BC Open from last year with
it's
Casey.
Awesome. Yeah.
And just looking at that course, that even that picturesque signature hole.
That signature hole, my guess, is about $150,000.
Just to build that hole?
To build that hole is in my head as landscaping would go. It's crazy. But the layout is unbelievable, and the golds are ridiculously hard.
Right.
I'm scared of that. I played the blues.
Okay. So this year when you head down there, is that where you'll be playing?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too that it just shows you what a city could do with some land that was useless to the city, right? Because it was an old dump.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they turned it into a disc golf course.
Unbelievable, man. Like it's the greatest course. I haven't been to PEI, so I can't compare it.
Right.
But to me, that's my number one course.
Well, now speaking about great disc golf courses, we got one in the local area that you're part of course.
Oh,
Wild Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's my heart.
So you probably get out there more than you get out to any other course? Or
No,
not
I don't.
Or?
And Matt's interesting that way too. The Wild Man, he likes to play other places.
Okay.
We literally went to Langholm 2 days ago, and we played.
In my backyard.
Yeah, we played the craziest safari round ever. And I'm going to tell you right now, the playground bridge is in play. That's a tee pad. No joke. And there is a 500-foot hole there.
Okay.
So we've tested it. We want to make another layout there.
Yes.
It's a crazy layout, and it's so much fun. And we had a guy named Trevor show up. I played with him once last year there. All of a sudden he walked up to us, "Come on, let's play." He goes, "I want to keep pace with you guys. That's why I want to play."
Right.
And he goes, "I had brain surgery 11 days ago."
Yes.
And I was like, "What?"
I do know Trevor. He comes out to Winter League.
Dude,
he's a
gem.
Yeah.
He's a gem.
And it's just another showing of what disc golf does for people, right? Because he said that's kind of what's helped him with his recovery. That's what helps keep him
The
going.
guy had a brain aneurysm, and 11 days later, he's throwing with us.
Yes.
The guy's a rock star.
For sure.
An absolute rock star. I can't wait to play with him again.
Yeah. So you're playing in Tundra Toss.
Yeah.
You got any other tournaments on your list for this year?
Yes. BC Open, I can't wait for that
of
one.
course,
Edmonton Open, I'm looking at it.
Okay.
I'm thinking about Gold Eagle.
Gold Eagle, so that one's out in Battleford, Saskatchewan.
I had the pleasure of playing that place 2 years ago. All the boys there had me out. I was working at Lloydminster at the time, and they knew I couldn't be at the tournament.
Right.
So they had me out a week early, so I didn't get to play the temporary pop-up course on the beach.
Yes.
But the course is unbelievable.
So that, like you said, is for those who don't know, at this Golden Eagle Open in Saskatchewan, they take a beach and they put baskets on it, and it's a course you can only play
once
for that tournament.
for that weekend. I think as the hike goes there, it's harder than the Wildman because of the top peak. You think of Saskatchewan, you're thinking it's like
you think it's flat. It's a parking lot.
No, it is not a parking lot. This place, when you get to the top furthest basket away, or the top tee pad, you look down, and I think that was the one that struck me the most. Sitting at a picnic table with the boys, and I look out and I see 3 baskets, and then I see a pontoon boat going slowly on the lake, and I see a Sea-Doo coming across, and it's like, this is cool.
Yeah.
It's just awesome to watch.
That's
and everybody's
awesome.
just enjoying life. But I highly recommend that course. Like, it's huge.
And because you play a lot of the big A tiers or have?
Yep.
Would you get down to Falcon's Flight, or is that in there?
You know what? I don't know. I played Falcon's Flight a couple years ago. Did hot dogs there. The whole thing. My hot dog cart resides at the Wildman now. I just don't have time.
So if you want an actual disc dog,
you
hot
gotta come
dog,
eat
the
with
ramen
us
dog,
at the
something
real
like
place.
that, yes, you got to head up there.
You want the Don't Air dog? It's going to be there.
Yes. Well, awesome, man. Well, it seems like we are kind of getting ready to wrap up. They're just finishing the disc swap that they're doing here in the field house. So
how many did you get?
2.
2.
Yeah, I've got somebody over there checking for
You
me.
already have too many discs.
I do.
Put more in there, bro.
I got too many.
Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
That's all he's
all I
got
need.
for the whole game.
And this one did not leave my bag.
Oh, really? You didn't even throw it?
No. It's there in case I need it.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Dog.
bro.
Thanks, Briggsy.
Love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
Peace out.
Catch you later.
While we were at Tundra Toss, Daryl, we had a chance to do a few Instagram lives, and we really appreciate everybody who tuned in for those and provided us with some comments and feedback. That was our first time doing it, so we're going to get better. Give us some time and some patience, and we will.
The angles may not have been the greatest. The audio may not have been perfect, but we tried to give some sort of background feel to the event. Tried to capture the atmosphere in the trail house. And like you said, thanks to everybody that commented on it. We also got a chance to walk around a little bit with a few other cameras. We got a little bit of footage from the course, a little bit of background practice, pre-round footage, and hopefully you'll see some of that now.
Reminder for everyone, if you found anything on the course, please turn it in to Tournament Central over at this table. If you found something on the course like a disc or something. A lot of bogeys? Yeah. A couple of those. Okay, hey, quick question. Do we want to do this inside or out? Yes. Out? Inside. I'm hearing out. Is that right? Inside. Okay, we're doing it inside.
Should we tell the outside folk?
Yeah.
They'll crowd us out!
Last call. Last call, 50-50. So, to start with, I just want to say thank you so much to all the sponsors, Pursuit of Motion Physiotherapy. You know, for all those aches and pains, right, Sean Eidebrecht, right? What's that? All those aches and pains, get them worked on, right? Same thing, dude. I went to him. And just thanks to all the volunteers who helped make this tournament and event happen. So thank you guys very much. We're going to start. The first thing on MVP Disc Station will be the first thing that goes.
So it's a white ticket, 997867.
Oh. There you go.
867?
7867.
Okay, we've got 3 handmade minis from Kevin Topping. And look at these things. These are cool. Give Kevin a hand for that. There's three quick draws for these. 3 quick ones.
997904.
Hey, that's me.
Whoa, let's go.
Okay, next prize draw. This Prodigy bag. Woo!
Give it here.
Let's go.
Oh! Chainout Podcast's own.
I don't win anything.
Oh yeah, made by yours truly, Mike Carey.
Made by Mike Carey, these birdie beads. Give it up for Mike Carey.
997899. Blue ticket.
Sounds fake.
Let's see here.
Did you win
That,
your own?
I win my own.
Okay, now we're going to move on. I'll just announce we had 3 ace pot winners, so give it up for Andrew Gillespie, Jake Witt, and Jonathan Auger.
But kind of to wrap this episode up, we wanted to give you a little bit about our personal experience at Tundra Toss. And we were very lucky, as we may have mentioned there, that we got a chance to play our first round together. Hey, Daryl?
Yeah, no, exactly. First time we get a chance to play a round together, and it happens to be the first tournament of the season. So kind of that was nice for Tim to put us on the same card. Yeah, and we played that well that we actually ended up playing on the same card in the afternoon as well.
Yes. Well, I heard a little chuckle in your voice, either that well or that similar, I guess you could say, that we were managed to get back on the same card together.
Yeah, similar is fair.
Yeah. And as we were talking too, that first round, we got to play with Travis Bouchard and with Nick Legault, 2 great guys. Thanks for playing with us. We really appreciated having you on our card. And we got to see how a true MA40 top tier player gets to play in Travis. He takes a double bogey on the first hole and then never looks back. And just as Tim was saying in the episode earlier, it was a sight to see, and we got to see half of it.
Yeah, no, it was fun playing with Travis. Fun, my first time playing. I've met Travis before, first time playing with him, but first time meeting Nick, and it was really fun playing with Nick. I know we've got our next few weekends booked together because we're still finishing this basement that we were developing for the round that we put together, that we were kind of bringing up the rear there. We were furnishing the basement, as Nick liked to put it. And then in the second round, Nick kept his place on our card with us, and I know it was the first time for me. I don't know if it was the first time for you. We got a chance to play with Christoph.
Yes. And Christoph, again, another great card mate. And he's slightly taller than us. I didn't feel like he was that much taller, but there's something about his height and his form and the way he threw is he would just walk up and it looked like he leisurely flung a disc. And then that disc was gone. Like he was flinging that time lapse like it was nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looked like he was just throwing 100-foot upshot.
Yes. Yeah, so it was great to play with Christoph too. And I think I've said it before on the podcast, Daryl, but that's one of my favorite things about MA40 is just that every time I've played in that division, it's always been with a great group of people. And we talk about people getting our references and joking and laughing. And so even with Travis leading the card and very serious about wanting to do well because he was doing well, he still had the sense of humor and the fun to enjoy the time with us, and that was great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I enjoyed both rounds. Maybe not so much for the weather conditions, but yeah, I enjoyed both rounds.
Yeah. Well, Daryl, another episode in the bag, the Tundra Toss edition. We hope everybody liked this special edition. We didn't do a lot of the things we normally do in an episode, but there is one thing we should talk about at the end here.
What I would just like to say
is
before you carry on is that I would like to say that Tim kind of surprised us with, flipping the script on us and kind of turning the tables, asking us which disc we would like to remove from our bag. So that was kind of fun. And what I would like to do next time I throw that time lapse is I'm going to stand up. Maybe I'll go to Rundle. Maybe I'll go to Hermitage. I'll find one of the shorter holes, maybe a hole that I can reach, and I'll take that Avenger SS and I'll give it one more chance. I'll throw it down the fairway, and hopefully it'll maybe I'll get some hyzer flip out of it. Maybe I'll go straight, And you know what? Because it's not in my bag anymore, you know what it's going to do?
Oh, I know exactly what it's going to do.
What is it going to do?
Chainout!
Okay, thanks everybody. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes,
you could
please.
You could win. Could be you.
100. Let's get there.